Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Vidane TV Wednesday night edition here for the Kentucky Bourbon 100 or 150 here at Kentucky Speedway. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. coming at you from the booth here, just getting qualifying wrapped up, taking a quick peek at the results with 5 seconds left. Looks like Dave Douthwaite going to get the pole in that 34 machine. Tim Wortman Jr. in the 00 on the outside. We'll get that full running order up there on your screen as soon as it is official. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here tonight on the Vidane TV. Hope everybody's staying safe. The remnants of Ida getting on through the Northeast here, just starting to roll in here at Vidane HQ. So if we have any kind of burps in the coverage or the video feed or anything like that tonight, we do apologize. The power grid isn't all that strong where we're hooked up at here, but we're going to stay with you as long as we can. There you can see on the screen right now, the very first race here on Vidane TV for the month of September, 100 laps on the docket this evening here at Kentucky. And we already made mention, Dave Douthwaite, Tim Wortman Jr. going to be starting on the front row. There you see Kevin Ruff, Tommy Kelly in behind them. Trevor Absher, last season's champion, going to be rounding out the top 5. And we'll get that scrolling on through here. And really big race here. These guys having a fantastic season throughout Wednesday nights, and great to have the Loose Lugz series, Cup Series on board here. Lots of action coming up here too in the next couple of months, working on the season schedules for both fall and the winter coming up through here, and It's going to be great to entertain the masses once again throughout the weekends and or throughout the weeks rather, and all that good stuff. So there you see again timing and scoring, getting caught up here, lining up all these cars down on pit road, getting ready to rock and roll here at the 1/2 mile in Kentucky. Couple notables here. You can see Drew Moffitt starting 13th, 14th, Keith Hume Sr. With Sean Rhodes, Matt Mackin back here, and it's one of those deals. A couple of drivers electing to not take lap times, going to start in the back here, and kind of we've seen this happen before with a lot of these drivers. Sometimes you just kind of want to take the maybe take the long road around, so to speak, and make sure that you stay out of harm's way. And sometimes the back of the pack is the way to do it. But there's also some instances where it's a lot safer to do it up in the front as well. But there you see the cars starting to roll. 31 cars here at Kentucky, ready to rock and roll. Everybody getting going. Night race, racing under the lights, very exciting. But ATV here to get all the coverage to you, all the live action, and it looks like already Doubtway going to choose that outside line. So that's going to be something to take a peek at throughout the evening. Each one of these restarts, these drivers can pick whichever line they want to grab, and that's definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye on throughout the night. Sometimes at Kentucky, especially all these mile-and-a-half tracks, the bigger tracks, the cookie cutters, as they have been called in the past, it's a lot faster on the outside line. You're able to really hold on to the grip up there on the outside, and it's great to see just what these drivers can do. But there's also drivers that are strong on the bottom side right down there on that white line, so we don't really know. That's why I'm up here in the booth, and these drivers are down there on the racetrack behind the wheel here at Kentucky. And again, great racing all season long. Going to be following this particular series all the way through into the new year, into the 2020 months, or 2022 months. Holy moly, the past 2 years have really flown by. Coming up on our second year anniversary here as well, coming up in March. Going to be a lot of fun. Over 500 broadcasts live on Verdane TV. Add one more to the list. Green flag in the air. Tim Wortman gets a little bit of a jump down on the bottom side, but they're still door handle to door handle as they shoot on down into turn number one. And lots of lines, the two lines very distinguished already here early at Kentucky with the Loose Lugz Cup Racing Series. Still side by side going down the backstretch for 2 rows. Little bit of a break, but still great action already. Lap number 1, and just heading into turn 3 now. You see Trevor Absher, oh, contact, holds on to it, it looks like, still clean and green. Big time wiggle there. I believe that was Tim Ingram. It might have been Ryan Kling there. 3 wide action here at Kentucky. Well, I can already tell this is going to be one of those races that's going to be really, really hard to follow, but man, oh man. One thing that's not hard to follow, these guys racing NASCAR Cup teams and schemes, so it's easy to follow along who the teammates are. And man, look at that throwback there for the Jeff Gordon number 24. I love all that. One of the Wade Palmer, the 5th, racing that machine, and it looks like all that action on side lap number 1 has kind of subsided just a little bit, and you see now starting to kind of get single file out, but that just shows you what we have to look forward to here at Kentucky. And you can see Dave Doubtway now has the lead over Tim Wortman Jr., but not by much, only a couple of car lengths. And in behind, it's Tommy Kelly in that number 3 car. Pretty much bumper to bumper throughout the top 6. It looks like Eric Kling holding on in the 51, Trevor Absher there in the 19th car right there in behind. A little side-by-side action for 5th as well. $150 laps or 100 laps here at the 1.5, 150 total miles. Working lap number 4, taking a peek at the battle for 5th. You see the 8 car trying to get in underneath trying to get around on the outside of Trevor Absher. Absher going to hold on to the bottom right down on the yellow line as we complete lap number 5 here. And you can see the 8 car of Ruff trying to just follow the tire tracks there of the 19 car. Trevor Absher, last season's champion. It's you kind of learn how these drivers and what these drivers are going to do. A little battle for the lead here. That 3-car, Tommy Kelly, is bat fast already. Got around the 00 of Tim Wortman Jr. Now he's going to go on by the 34-car of Dave Dowsway, grab that lead. 51-car going to try and follow in behind as well. Eric Kling in the Chevy machine there. Give that lap number 5 complete. Give it to the number 3-car. Tommy Kelly takes the lead. Now side by side for second. In behind him, Eric Kling going to try and make quick work of that 34-car. He's going to slide on up in front of Dave Dowsway, take that second position away. And you can see Absher trying to move up there as well. He's taking a peek down low underneath Tim Wortman Jr., who's now back in 5th place. New colors there for Ed Boyles Jr., the number 5-car Hendrick Motorsports teammate. You can see the HendrickCars.com, beautiful looking red, black, and white paint scheme there. Gotta give a shout out to Wayne Bowen, not in this race. Races the 11-car usually for Joe Gibbs Racing. You can see his teammate right there in the 19. Almost 3 wide. Now they're 3 wide down the backstretch just briefly. They think better of it. But Wayne Bowen not able to race here tonight because of Hurricane Ida. But caution under the... Well, speaking of Joe Gibbs Racing, there's some big-time damage on that. Oh, he almost flips over the 18 of Absher. Flipped upside down and around. Black smoke coming out of the back, the front of that race car. It looks like he is going to be able to get it going. He's going to try and get down on the pit road under his own power. If not, we'll have to see if we can get a tow truck down there and get him pulled back away. We'll see if we can take a look here at the very first Kong Beer Bong instant replay to find out exactly what went down there with the 18 car. And we're going to take a peek at it here from the vantage point. The 18, or the 19 rather, and the 16 running side by side, and the contact is actually up in front of them. Looks like Kenny Capola in the 77 car, big time damage, spinning on through. No Sasquatch juice in that car here tonight, unfortunately. But we'll take a peek at it again, and you can see 24 car gets up into the wall, comes down, and collects, unfortunately, the 77. There you see the 18, unfortunately, nowhere to go. And we saw the other shot there of Jimmy Absher sliding on up in front of the 33 car. So big damage to Guy Bonafide as well. And we see there's going to be about a half a dozen, maybe 8 cars or so coming down pit road to get some service to their race cars. But caution out, lap number 9 here for the very first caution, and a tough break for a couple of drivers here towards the back of the pack. As you can see, Jimmy Absher getting that thing worked on. Some service there for Preston Purier in the 38. Ken Hume Sr. is down there as well. Kevin Ruff, Jameson Middlemiss, Wade Palmer the 4th, Ian Yeager, Bobby Justice, Ken Ellert, Wade Palmer the 5th, as we saw down on pit road as well. And just kind of getting 4 tires, fuel, maybe knocking some of the sheet metal back just a little bit. Tommy Kelly is still your leader out front as the iRacing pace car collects the field, and everybody gets a chance to think strategy here at this point. And you think, well, we're only 9 or 10 laps in here in a 100-lap race, and well, what kind of strategy could you possibly be thinking? Well, we see a couple of drivers are going to come down pit road here and get extra fuel put in that race car. So you always have to be prepared for the fuel mileage races. We've seen quite a few of them the past couple of weeks here on Verdane TV throughout all of the different leagues that work with us and that run with us. And speaking of all the leagues that run with us and work with us, the invitation has been sent out here for a lot of the leagues. We've kind of teased it a little bit here on Verdane TV, but we are going to be throwing a big race here in partnership with the Liberty Racing Series, the Bottle Rocket 350, looking at a mid-November date range, the Saturday of November 20th. Sticks out as a major contender as Derek Cook, Josh Battles give up their top 15 spots to come down pit road, get some service. But we're going to be racing the trucks at the old Daytona before the repave back in 2007, and it's going to be a 1990s throwback. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Still working on the details. It's going to be a fixed setup race, and we're going to have qualifying events, and going to be a big deal. We'll have all the details worked out here within the next week or so, and we'll have all that information up on the social media outlets, up on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all the good stuff there, Facebook as well. And make sure you follow along, looking for some advertising sponsors as well as partners, and lots of different things to get out. We're going to have some trophies and some cool giveaways. Going to probably throw out some t-shirts, and we're working on a design for a special edition t-shirt as well. And What's going to be cool about those t-shirts, everybody that makes the field is going to get one for free. If it's free, it's for me. And after that, we will have them for sale for any drivers, fans or partners or sponsors that want to get in on the action. We'll have those up for sale as well. And it's cool about those t-shirts. On the backs, we're going to have all of the advertising partners and sponsors. Your logo is going to be right there on that t-shirt as well. So definitely a good opportunity to get to your brand or your name out there. Give us a shout in the Facebook direct messages. We can get that worked out here for you. Lots of entertainment coming up here throughout the next couple of months. We've made mention we're going to be following the Loose Lug Cup Series here on Wednesday nights. 9 o'clock is start time each and every week. As you see, the iRacing pace car has shut the lights off. We're going to be going racing once again here once we get around this racetrack one final time, and we're slowly going on down through 2x2 all the way through, heading into turns 1 and 2. Tomorrow night we've got the Multi-League Cup Series. They're going to be racing at Darlington. Not technically a throwback race per se, but it's going to be good to see that we've got a lot of throwback paint schemes in that field. Already seen a lot of them. Scott Patton, been a busy man over at Patton Paint, so he's going to be showing off some of his paint schemes, and lots of drivers ready to get that playoff started here in their championship. They're going to be running here through November, as well as the Sim 500 Trans Service Cup Series on Monday nights with Tim Terry and Kevin England up in the booth. Going to be racing with those guys through the early months of November, and that's going to pretty much open the door. And NEPS is coming back. New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Grand National Series, brought to you by Shift Marketing and Design, starting off October 5th. Going to be at Daytona. We saw our friend Brent Roy second in practice here a couple of days ago here in the official NEPS practice section. So pretty cool to see him towards the top of the board, and going to be a good show. Going to be great to see those guys rock and roll. But lap 11 getting ready to cross the line into lap number 12. Green flag in the air. Tommy Kelly hammer down. He's already got the lead heading on down into turn number 1, the 51 of Kling, trying to hold on the outside, with Tim Wortman Jr. going to dip down low underneath him. He's going to bring the 5-car with him as well, of Ed Boyles Jr. 3-car kind of nose to tail hooked up on the bottom. They slide on up. Now we're single file for the top 5. Trevor Absher, check that, in the 19 Toyota, trying to get up into this top 5 as well, and that's where the action is, about 5th on back. And you can see just how many different lines these drivers can use throughout the racetrack, and they all work. They're all fast. There's lots of different ways around this track, lots of different strategies as well. And you can see Tim England there in the 62 car holding tough, the 15 of Ryan Kling as well, and just great racing throughout the racetrack. Lots of different lines, and you can tell these guys really have put in a lot of their practice over the past week here. There is officially a 1-hour practice session. There you can see the Marines car on the number 5, or the 15 rather. And man, a couple laps into the green flag run, again, we're single file for the front 4 or 5, but everybody else, little almost contact there between Drew Moffitt and the 48 car. They sorted it all out. They're single file. Now it's side by side right behind them. 8 car of Kevin Ruff came down. He's got fresher tires on that 8 car. So that's going to be one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on to see if he moves up through this field here. One of the front runners that elected to come down pit road under that caution just a few laps ago. You see the 52 car of Drew Moffitt trying to peek on down low and see if he can get a little bit of an advantage here. But still Tommy Kelly out front by a couple of tenths. Tim Wortman still right in behind, right close with him. He's got the 51 of Eric Kling in there as well. So great racing here. Ooh, contact back there with the 15 and the wall. Actually, let's check that. It's the 62 of Tim Ingram, but sawing back and forth on that wheel. He's able to hold on to it. Now still battling side by side with the 48 car. And man, oh man, it's just astounding here. Great racing in Kentucky. Side by side battles all the way throughout the racetrack. Just trying to keep up with all the action. There you see the battle for 18th on back. Preston Ferrier holding off a challenge by a 3-car duet of Joshua Nolan, Jamison Middlemiss, and Matt Mackin back here as well. And you can see that 38-car Superior kind of driving away as these guys battle it out, exchanging blows here between the 3 drivers, the 16, the 9, and the 6. And the battles are intense all the way through here. You see a battle to get into the top 10. The 52 side by side there with the 15 of Kling, and It's just awesome action all the way around this racetrack. Almost tough to keep up with. But here you see the top 3 cars have broken away. The 51 of Eric Kling going to shoot down low underneath Tim Wortman Jr. Going to try and take the shorter way around the racetrack. Sometimes it's quicker, but as the tires tend to worn out here at Kentucky on the 1.5 mile, it's tougher and tougher to hold on to that bottom side. Taking a peek at some of the action here. The top 3 still battling it out here, second and third. It's changing back and forth here position. The U.S. Army number 51. And there you can see Tim Wortman, last season's regular series champion, holding on to the 3rd position. Trevor Absher has now finally moved into the 4th spot, and he's got his sights set on the podium, and he's got a little bit of a battle here. Well, rather big battle. Dave Douthwaite trying to hold on to that top 5 position in 5th, but Alonzo King, Ed Boyles Jr., Drew Moffitt, Tim Ingram right in here, as well as Kevin Ruff, who's caught up and moved into the top 10 after getting some fresh tires here. It's astounding to see this action, and we see these guys race each and every Wednesday night. I had a rough race a couple of weeks ago. We did have a rule implemented where there's a 17-point incident, Rule 3 wine action. There you go, entertaining the masses here on Verdane TV. There's a 17-point incident cap here, and you may ask yourself, well, what is an incident point? In the iRacing service, every time you make contact with either the grass or the wall or another competitor on the track, you get an incident point. And many times when we have cautions, a couple of drivers having rough nights throughout tend to have their nights get worse, I guess we could put it that way. So if you get yourself up to 17 incident points, you get a black flag. You have to come down the pits, and if you get a few more of those in that same race, it'll actually remove you from the event. So keeping the racing clean here, a little slap on the wrist for some of the drivers, and man, oh man, one quick caution here. We're already working closely to that 1/4 mark here. We're in lap number 21 of lap 100. Tom Kelly out front by 3 or 4 car lengths over now the 00 of Tim Wortman Jr., who's gotten by Eric Kling. And Trevor Absher about a 1.5 seconds back from the leader. You can see him just kind of peeking in there on the right side of your screen as we get around this 1.5 mile, thundering on down the back straight. And you can see 2nd and 3rd trying to hook bumpers up just a little bit. 51 trying to get himself a run. He shoots down low again along the shorter side of the racetrack, but he's not quite. He might have enough. Going to try and get the slide job in. Doesn't quite have enough, but it does knock Tim Wortman, knocks the air off of the bumper of that car. Had to check up and hold on to that race car, and that gave the advantage to the 51 as Eric Kling moves that back into the 2nd position. I don't think these drivers are done swapping around position. You can already see Tim Wortman Jr. trying to break the air, dip down low, and break the draft up just a little bit. Now he's going to shoot up on the high side and see if he can get the advantage over the 51 once again. There you see Trevor Absher holding on to that 4th spot. Dave Douthwaite has now broken away from the pack a little bit, and you see a little 2-car pack, 47 of Alonzo King, Kevin Ruff right in behind him, Tim Ingram leading a group of cars in the 62, pardon me, the 52 right behind him of Drew Moffitt, Tyler Smith, Ed Boyles Jr. in here as well. There's some side-by-side action. Great to see that 33 of Guy Bonafide. Big, heavy contact with that 18 car a few laps ago under that first caution, the first only caution here at Kentucky. Still holding on tough. That car seems to be working very well. He slides into 10th place there, back and forth with 9th now as he tries to get around the 96. Battles all the way around the racetrack. There you see Preston Courier counting low, 62. Taking Tim Ingram up high and swapping positions back and forth, working lap number 24, already 1/4 way the distance here at Kentucky for the Kentucky Bourbon 150. And Tommy Kelly still out front, and you can see it's about the same. Status quo from front 3, 3rd place. Tim Wortman Jr. dropping back just a little bit. I don't think it's because the car is slower. I think that driver's trying to do his homework to try and see where the 3 and the 51 might be stronger, where they're weaker, to see if they can try and get that 00 car back in around these drivers, back into the 2nd spot, and then set his sights on that Richard Childress Racing machine of Tommy Kelly. And there you see 51 going to get a big run heading in across the stripe down into turns number 1. And the 51, he's got the advantage. He's down on the bottom side, and he doesn't even have to wait until the exit of turn 2 to slide on up, but he keeps sliding on up. We're going to get a little crossover action. Tommy Kelly going to slide into the second spot right now, but he's got to run, and I think he might try and get it back here just a little bit. He actually goes up on the high side a little bit, loses a bit of momentum, and but that's going to give Eric Kling the lead. Great pass there, great strategy. Now 51 very quick here as we approach across the stripe, lap 28 in the books. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. Coverage of the Lugz Cup Series action here on Verdane TV. Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the booth. Little solo action as we take a look at the top 5 running single file here at Kentucky for the Kentucky Bourbon 150. Missing a couple of drivers. One of the notable ones, the 11 of Wayne Bowen, because of Hurricane Ida's remnants going on through the Northeast. And it's starting to get lively here at Verdane TV HQ. So everything seems to be holding up just fine so far. And we made mention at the top of the broadcast, if we have any kind of glitches here tonight, we do apologize. We're going to stay with you as long as we possibly can. But it looks like things have calmed down for just a bit. A little bit of a lull in the action here in the weather here on the radar. But action still pretty hot here at Kentucky. These guys putting on a great show and good clean racing all the way throughout. And it's as these tires get a little bit further on or into the racetrack or into the race here, they get a little bit soft and they get a little bit slick, and you'll notice it's a little bit tougher for these drivers to kind of hold on to the race cars. So they may not want to be doing any kind of side-by-side battles. But we can actually see Alonzo King coming down pit road. I'm not sure if this is a scheduled stop or not, but if it is, we see Ryan Kling going to come down as well. So these drivers may be splitting this race into 2 pits. Easy enough for me to say. 2 pit stops coming down here for each of the thirds of the race. Maybe trying to get a little bit of an advantage here coming down the pits early as Eric Kling holds on to the lead over Tommy Kelly. Tim Ortman Jr. going to give up 4th. Dave Douthwaite. So pit stops have begun under green flag conditions, and this is one of the things you really got to keep an eye on. Some of these drivers going to try and push the issue. Ed Boyles Jr., Tim Ingram, Charles Stevens, they'll come down pit road in a gaggle there. Tim Ortman Jr., Dave Douthwaite as well. Here's Alonzo King, Alonzo King and Ryan Kling. Say that 5 times fast. They're down and away as well. And all these drivers coming down 4 fresh tires and Sunoco race fuel. There you can see a damaged race car in front of the leader, number 51. I believe that's Ian Yeager in the 37 car, and indeed is from earlier damage there from the lone Canadian in the field on that Camaro. Tough break, but you can see Tommy Kelly still trying to hold on to that draft there, the 51 of Eric Kling. As we work at lap number 33, 1/3 the distance already done here for the Kentucky Bourbon 150, and the leader going to come down as well as second place. They drag race down to the pit road entry. No tire smoke. It looks like we are good to go as far as speeding goes. But the leader, Tommy Kelly, down on pit road as well as Eric Kling. They're going to bring the young Trevor Absher as well in the 19 car, giving the lead to Kevin Ruff. Now keep an eye on Kevin Ruff, Preston Creer, Guy Bonafide. These drivers all came down pit road on that lap number 10 caution. So they already have a little bit fresher tires. They are going to lose maybe just a little bit of lap times, I think, on the older tires. But they potentially can stay out here, maybe wait for a caution flag if it comes down. Sean Rhodes, Eric Kling, and Michael Miller down on pit road as well. But we'll see just how long Kevin Ruff tries to push the issue here. It's great to see these guys running clean and green so far. You can see Courier almost 2 seconds back. Guy Bonafide about 3 seconds back there in the 33 car. Just kind of bouncing through the field here, taking a look at the exciting spots, and just really strung out here at this point. It looks like a little conveyor belt action. These drivers know it's a long race, and lots of different strategies here throughout. Some drivers coming down 10 laps ago under the caution. They're going to try and stretch it out just a little bit and see how long they can make it on this stretch of fuel. We'll take a look here. The top 10 have actually stayed out for about 25 to 27 laps, depending. And you can see King, Douthwaite, Warman, they're going to move up just a little bit because 3 more drivers coming on down. Keith Hume, Matt Mackin, and Wade Palmer IV down on pit road, leaving 7 drivers now on the lead lap. And you can see just how long they went. And some drivers have made it about 33 laps is the distance. Kling there, you can see Tommy Kelly has made 33 laps in his car on that stretch. So got about 5 or 6 laps here that the top 7 can make it here on fuel. And it's one of those deals where you really have to pay attention to what's going on because you really want to make sure that you're not going to lose too much time on older tires. You can see the 37 car struggling to keep that thing up to speed, missing the hood on that race car, but still holding on. Points very, very important here. Close battles throughout the entire point standing throughout the Loose Lugz Cup Series. Ruff still holding on to the lead here. You can see Preston Perrier back in his wings just a little bit as he gets around a couple of damaged cars here. And you can see 6 cars on the lead lap make that 5. Guy Bonafide going to give up the top 5 position, 3rd, and he's going to come down pit road, get some service here. So Kevin Ruff still holding on, hoping for a caution. I don't know if we'll get one here. Everything seems to be clean and green here so far. You can see holding right onto that paved stripe in the race car, or in the racetrack surface rather, coming down the backstretch. And oh, there's some contact with the 6th car, and that may very well bring out the caution. We'll see if we can pull that up. The 5 holds on to it. Joshua Nolan involved here. So that is a tough break, and there is the caution. So that's good news for the 8 car. Bad news for some of these drivers that have come down pit road. They will have the opportunity to get the wave around, but they won't be able to come down and get service. So that's going to give a big advantage to Kevin Ruff in the 8, Preston Perrier, Derek Cook, some of these drivers who have not come down for this second stop just yet. But we'll take a look here at the Kong Beer Bong instant replay. Focus in on the 6 car. You see that 51 comes around. He's led a couple of laps here tonight. He gets by clean and green. Dave Douthwaite, Tim Ortman Jr. trying to get up and around the 6 car. And 6 makes contact with 34, spins it on down into the inside wall, slams the back corner of that Mustang down in there, and looks like everybody else gets away scot-free. So that's definitely good news for the field. That's one of those instances that could have been a whole lot worse. But man, oh man, that is some good news there for the 8 machine as they come down pit road. And you can see all these drivers going to have to stay out on the racetrack so they can get their wave by. Derek Cook, Josh Battles, Eric Kling, Ian Yeager, and Tim Wortman Jr., the other drivers on the top or the lead lap. And you can see the top 3 coming down at pit road. Josh Battles going to come down. All 4, 5, 6 of these lead lap cars going to come down and get service. And all of the other drivers, they will get the opportunity to join the tail end of the field, but these top 5 or 6 drivers who didn't come down and pit here under green flag conditions, they pitted about 30 laps ago here for the first caution, lap number 10. They get to take their time. They don't have to rush off pit road. There you can see Kevin Ruff going to lead the race back down pit road. Preston Perrier 2nd. Looks like it's going to be Derek Cook and Josh Battles the top 4 coming off, but this is a big advantage for these guys. They're going to restart here with quicker tires, with better tires, and they're going to have a few extra laps that they can stay out on. So that may very well have been a good call. There you see they made 32 laps there, one of those laps being under caution. But everybody else, they've got 7, 8, 9, 10 lap tires here at this point. So this is going to be big. This is going to play into, I think, the next pit stop for sure, whether it be under green or under caution. But as we get timing and scoring sorted out here, we're going to make another quick check on the weather, pay a couple of bills here, take a brief commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back right here live on Verdane TV. You're watching the Kentucky Bourbon 150. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Have you seen my kick-ass subscription box anywhere? Oh, there it is.
Lights are off on the iRacing Mustang, or the iRacing pace car. You can see those top 10 drivers or so are all lined up double file. The rest of the field starting to, or continuing to catch up to the end of the pack here as the lights off on the pace car. All those drivers getting the wave by. They're going to join at the tail end of the field here as the field comes into turns 3 and 4. Caution flag number 2 here, working lap number 43, getting the restart as we start lap number 44. Weather looks halfway decent so far. It's starting to get a little bit of rough here at the Verdane TV HQ here in southern central Connecticut. Hurricane Ida remnants moving on through. We hope everybody's staying safe out there. Green flag in the air, and you can see all those drivers that had to take the win by on the outside, inside line, but a lot of them trying to shoot on the outside. And it's a race to get towards the front of the pack already. Oh, contact, the 15 upside down on his roof. Ryan Kling gonna tumble on down. The 42 car involved. That was big, big, big for the number 15 car, bringing out caution flag number 3. And that is a tough, tough break. That car was pretty fast going up through the top 10 earlier on. And well, this kind of levels out the playing field just a little bit. It's going to give these drivers that just took the wave by time enough to get some tires and get everything evened out here. But we'll take a look here again at the Kong Beer Bong instant replay and find out what in the world happened here on the restart. You can see there, you see 3 wide action to 15. Unfortunately, spotter may not have been paying attention to 16 involved. He gets into the 42 involved as well. And there you see the 15 car tumbling down into turns 1 and 2. And well, we've got a rule here on Verdane TV. If somebody flips upside down and they make contact and they go upside down, well, we got to take a look at the camera from on the inside of the car. So we're going to ride on board with Ryan Kling here to 15. There's the wall and there's the ground, the pavement, some sparks, pavement. Even in a simulator, that's scary. As you can see, a couple of flips and turns. Sticks the landing, though. I'll give him a 9.5 on the landing, even pointing in the right direction. But tough break for a couple of drivers back here. It looks like everybody was able to drive away under their own power. So that in itself, very good news, but going to be a long night of repairs for a few drivers. Michael Miller, Tim Ingram going to come down pit road, get some service to their machines, and see if they can get everything back up to par with those race cars. See the 48 coming down. Keith Hume coming down. Matt Mack and Sean Rhodes going to come down as well. And Kevin Ruff going to stay out. He's got some fresher tires underneath that race car and hasn't really had an opportunity to see what this clean air will do on the front of the race car. So he's going to hope for another long green flag run and try and hold on to it. But man, oh man, that's a tough break for some of the guys towards the back. Working caution, lap number 47, third caution here of the night, a violent flip with the 15 car. Luckily, being a simulator, everybody is A-OK. You can just kind of hit the reset button and get a new simulated car, which is pretty cool here in iRacing. This is something you want to check out. Check out iRacing.com. Comes with a lot of tracks and different cars, and you can purchase additional content as you see fit. But it's great to see all the different styles of racing. Just added the Mount Washington hill climb, which is pretty cool. You see all those bumper stickers that say this car climbed Mount Washington. Well, now you can say that your simulator climbed Mount Washington as well. They've got that lined up on iRacing. You can check that out as well as these Cup cars. Just looking at, you're able to purchase Kentucky Speedway. So very cool to see all the NASCAR divisions, a lot of open wheel divisions as well. There's some road racing, all sorts of cool stuff on the iRacing simulator. Be sure to check it out, iRacing.com. And you can also see a lot of different camera angles are working here. Working additional camera angles. We get Track Cams 22 jumping on board. They're supplying the camera angles throughout the Verdane TV seasons here. We've been using them on Wednesday nights as well as all of the other series here on Verdane TV. But here you can see the lights are off. The iRacing pace car getting ready to do battle one more time. Now everybody's pretty much evened out on tires. They were given the opportunity to come down pit road here and make sure that everything is up to par, up to snuff. And you can see Kevin Ruff holding on to the leads. Josh Battles on the outside of the front row. Preston Perrier, Derek Cook, and Eric Kling rounding out the top 5. Wortman, Boyles Jr., Bonafide, Smith, and Stevens, your top 10. And you can see 2x2 all the way throughout the field. Some damage battle scars here throughout the field, but everybody's still rocking and rolling. 18 cars on the lead lap here as we approach halfway, coming down the backstretch, getting ready for the restart. The iRacing pace car getting ready to take that left-hand turn down the safety of pit road. We saw a pretty jumbled up restart with a lot of drivers trying to get up towards the front on older tires, but I think at this point we've got that all sorted out. We're going to be able to see just who's got the quicker car. Kevin Ruff up front, Josh Battles on the outside, and we're lined up 2x2. Green flag in the air. The jump goes to the 8 car. Kevin Ruff comes out with the lead as they get up through the gears. A little 3-wide briefly. Oh, contact back there. Looks like the 9 car involved there. Matt Mack saves it. Still 3-wide. 43 all the way down low underneath the yellow line. 3 wide behind them. Drew Moffitt trying to make something happen up through the middle. man, oh man, that 52 car, it looks like he got shot out of a rocket. He's going to come around these 10 cars or so and move on up through the field just a little bit. Little sketchy restart, but it looks like everybody's got it collected here. But still racing lines all the way through, and these drivers know that they have to make the best out of these fresher tires here, as a lot of the drivers will come down, still 3 wide there for about 10th, 11th, maybe 12th place or so. And man, we just crossed into halfway down, halfway to go, and action all over the racetrack. Still holding on to the front, the lead there. Kevin Ruff, Eric Kling, Ed Boyles Jr. now the new 3rd place car. Preston Courier, Tim Borman holding on to the top 5. You can see Courier up on the high side. Ed Boyles down low, 3 wide in behind them. Still 3 wide. Trevor Absher down in the 19 car, trying to get down, make it happen on the bottom side, right along that yellow line. Unfortunately, his father, the 18 car, Jimmy Absher, involved in an earlier on wreck. He's actually over there watching on the YouTube. One of the neat things that we have here on Burbon TV. If a driver unfortunately gets their night ended early, a lot of times they'll go over and talk to the fans, talk to us in the chat. We know Wayne Bowen's over there, has no power, but still safe and sound with Hurricane Ida going on through, and we're dealing with that here at Burbon TV HQ as well. So everything's still holding up pretty strong. Good internet connection, still got power, still got lights, and still got Burbon TV coverage here at the old studio. So that's good news here. And it's definitely good news because we are watching one heck of a race as the 51 car of Eric Kling gets by the leader here, new leader. Give it to the 51. Kevin Ruff tucked back just a little bit. We're still watching this battle to get into the top 5 as these drivers trying to make the magic happen. Tim Wortman holding on to 4th. He's trying to get underneath Boyles Jr. in the 5 car down on the bottom side, but we're seeing that middle to high groove seems to be the strong point. One car of Eric Kling breaking away just a little bit. He's got about an 0.8 of a second lead, almost a full second now on that 8 car of Kevin Ruff. And you can see starting to sort things out just a little bit. Single file for the front 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 cars or so. And at this point, we're going to watch these drivers kind of see what a long run feels like here in the green flag conditions. It seems like it's got that feel. Hopefully that doesn't jinx it. We've got 18 cars still on the lead lap, and realistically here in the iRacing world, especially in a lot of the races we've seen on Burbon TV, that means anybody on that lead lap can come home with the victory. Taking a look at the battle, Tim Wortman Jr., Ed Boyles Jr. working back and forth, trying to get into the top 5. And that's exactly what Absher wants to see in the 19 car, looking in the rearview mirror, seeing a 4-car battle for position as the 96 of Tyler Smith, Keith Human, the 1 trying to join the party as well. The 33, Guy Bonafide, he wants a piece of the action as well back in 9th. And crazy to see, it's 4 or 5 cars going for the same position, trying to break into the top 5, get up closer to those leaders and see if we can get ourselves a little bit of a dance. But right now, Eric Kling pulling away from the field, 0.9 of a second, almost a full second of a lead over now Preston Courier, who moves up into the 2nd spot. That 38 car is quick, and if you take a look at the timing and scoring there on the left-hand side of your screen, he is closing in a hurry on that leader. The lead was about a second. You can see now down to about 8.5 of a second as Kling works around the lap machine of the number 23 car. It's going to be Ken Ellert having a rough go of it, lap or 2 down. Unfortunately, due to an earlier instance, you can see we're going to get a little 3-wide action with that 23 car of Ellert heading up down the middle. The 8 goes low, the 38 goes high. They get on around, and no harm, no foul there. But battle for second is alive and well, and Kevin Ruff wants to move back up closer to the front, to the lead. He's going to hold on to that bottom side of that apron and get up and around the 38 car. And in that battle, and the little bit of assistance here with the lap car, Ken Ellert going on by there, but Trevor Absher now joins up with this top 4. He wants a piece of the action. He's going to try get around the 38, get around the 8, and see if he can set his sights on the 51. The leader, Eric Kling, who's now out front. These guys battling just a little bit. He's added a little bit of a cushion to his lead. You see him in that wide shot, 1.3 seconds out front as we battle for second. Crossing the stripe, lap number 60. Eric Kling still out front. Kevin Ruff holding on to second. And now you can see that little 4-car pack is kind of split up just a little bit. They're going to go single file and hold on to their spots here. And just taking a look throughout the field, there you see the 96 car having a good run. He's up 17 spots in 6th. Guy Bonafide also up 17 spots. Charles Stevens, the biggest mover here, up 18 positions currently in the 12th spot. Little side-by-side action here now for that top 5 spot. For the 6th spot, check that. By Guy Bonafide has it. Tyler Smith wants it. You can see he's trying to get around on the outside to see if he can get up a little bit closer to the front. Side-by-side battle behind them for the 10th position, trying to get these drivers second half of the top 5. A couple of lap cars mixed in there as well. But action all the way across the racetrack here at Kentucky, and these 1.5 mile cookie cutter tracks, so to speak, really bring the excitement, especially with a group like the Lugz Cup Series. And you can check them out on Facebook. Just do a quick search for Lugz Cup Racing, and they pop right up, and they got it all linked up there at Verdane TV as well. And great to have everybody tuning in here tonight. I hope everybody's staying safe out there with the remnants of Hurricane Ida coming through the Northeast. A lot of drivers from the Northeast and New England area and all throughout the country, really. Lots of storms throughout this hurricane season. We're hoping everybody stays safe. Trying to keep the connection, trying to keep the broadcast going here. We've got a little bit of the remnants here at HQ, but everything seems to be holding up just fine. And speaking of holding up, the 51's lead holding up pretty strong, but it has shrunk to about a bumper. Kevin Ruff is there. He's on the back bumper of the U.S. Army, number 51. He's going to try and move himself back into the lead here on lap number 63. All the halfway point has come and gone, and we're heading on into the final stretch of the race. You see Tim Wortman Jr. is actually down on pit road, getting service to his machine. You got to believe that's a scheduled stop. 33 or so laps to go here, so that may be a scheduled stop. I know these drivers can make it about 33, 34 laps or so on a tank of fuel, so that may very well be the strategy for Tim Wortman Jr. It's going to be interesting to see if we have any cautions come out here in the last 35, 33 laps or so. But still out front, the 8 trying to close into the back bumper of Eric Kling and get himself back into the lead. Right now, just kind of riding in the tire tracks to see where the car needs to be, where it's going to handle better, where he's going to have the advantage over that 51. And you can see the back end of the field up in the distance going into turn number 3. That's a 3-way battle of Derek Cook, Matt Mackin, and Sean Rhodes holding on to position and just kind of sifting through, taking a peek at those drivers. Top 2 have broken away just a little bit. Preston Greer holding on to the 3rd spot, about a second and a half back in the 38 car. Or Trevor Absher holding on to 4th, and Guy Bonafide, after some heavy contact there in the first caution on lap number 10, the 33 has moved up to the 5th spot, up 19 positions from where he qualified as well. So great run so far for the 33 car. Great recovery after that incident. Ed Boyles Jr., Charles Stevens down on pit road. A couple of lap cars coming down as well. You can see as we go through these pit stops. A couple drivers short pitting, electing to come down here before they actually run out of fuel. Gavin Ruff having to deal with a little bit of the lap traffic, and he has moved into the lead as Eric Kling slides on back into second. And we can see here now the 8 car has a little bit of clean air, a little bit of air in front of him, with a couple of cars to deal with, but it looks like he's able to go on by no problem. Charles Stevens still on pit road. Tyler Smith going to give up a top 10 to get some service in the 96 Toyota. And these drivers approaching here, 30 laps to go, coming up in the final spot, final pit stop, and it seems like these drivers can go about 34 laps the distance. So anyone I think that pitted with 33 to go, they're good to go to the checkered flag. It is going to be curious to see whether or not these drivers have enough for a green-white checker, but you can see Eric Kling going to give up that second position and come down pit road. Guy Bonifat, the 33, going to come down as well, giving up that top 5. And this is going to be interesting to see. I don't believe we've got anybody racing really hard. It's not likely the caution flag will come out. Anything can happen in the iRacing world, especially, again, here on Verdane TV with 30 laps to go in the Lugz Cup Series here for the Kentucky Bourbon 150 at Kentucky Speedway. And these drivers coming on through. Gavin Ruff now down on pit road. Trevor Apsher going to follow him down as well. The 38 of Preston Courier now inherits the lead for the first time here tonight in the 38 machine. And Drew Moffitt sliding up into second. Michael Miller, Keith Hume, and Josh Battles now the top 5. Drivers still have to come down pit road one final time. Derek Cook, Matt Mackin, and Sean Rhodes now the drivers that have not come down for their final stop just yet. And that is leaving about 10 cars or so on the lead lap. So we saw this happen earlier on, approaching the second pit stop. We saw these drivers come down pit road, and there you see a handful of drivers down getting service away. The 8 car drives on by the 48 of Michael Miller up in the 3rd spot right now. Keith Hume still has to come down, get some service to the race car. But it'll be interesting to see where these pit stops kind of cycle on through. Gavin Ruff down and away, but he's in 10th spot. A handful of drivers still have to make this last green flag pit stop. And like we made mention, we saw this happen under green flag conditions. Most of the field came down and pitted, and a few drivers elected to stay out, stretch the fuel just a little bit. And you can see Keith Hume very far off the pace here. Well, just because those tires are so worn out, he's going to try and get down to the bottom of the racetrack. I imagine we'll see him come down the next time by there. But you can see the 15, I believe, has fresher tires. Nope, he's going to fall to one more lap to the leader here, Preston Courier, some damage after that violent flip and spinning around and hitting the outside wall on the 15 car. So great to see he's still running, holding on to a position here, 24th it looks like unofficially right now. Thinking points, thinking long haul at this point, wants to make sure that he still stays in the fight. And you see the 42 car driving on by. Sean Rhodes getting his lap back. It's the 38. Nope, the 38's actually approaching to put him one lap down, and that's the driver in 8th spot. Matt Mackin in 7th. The other driver that was on the tail end here, the 42, going to try and get that spot back down to the bottom side. Not racing for position, but racing to get that spot back. Here's Tim Wortman Jr. on fresh tires in the 00. He's going to drive by the leader like he's standing still. It's been about 30 laps since the 38 car has seen fresh rubber on that race car, and you can see just how much it shows. Tim Wortman Jr. getting his lap back the hard way. And 3 more drivers coming down pit road. Drew Moffitt, Derek Cook, Josh Battles, they're going to get service to their machines, leaving 3 drivers out front that still have to come down for their final pit stop. Preston Courier, Michael Miller, and the number 1 of Keith Hume. And there you see the 38 going to give up the lead. He's going to come down and get to his pit crew. Michael Miller may inherit the lead. We'll see. He's coming into 3 and 4 here, a little bit ways back. I believe he's driven by, has driven by. He's going to lead 1 lap here before he comes down pit road. But it looks like everybody else is now down on pit road. The 1 car comes down as well, giving up that second position. Keith Hume going to get some tires, get some fuel, and get ready to go. And that's going to give the lead for the first time here tonight to Michael Miller for at least a lap. We'll see if he comes down with 25 laps to go here, the very first race of the month of September. And you can see slowing down as he comes into turn number 4. You're going to give up that temporary lead and see where he ends up after coming down for service here with 25 laps to go. And top that tank off as much as he can, and we saw him get around the leader the hard way, and it looks like the early pit stop may very well pay off here for Tim Wortman Jr. as he comes into the corners here in the final parts of the racetrack, crossing the entry road to pit lane, going to cross the stripe and inherit the lead here with 23 laps to go. Tim Wortman Jr. out front. You can see now and the live timing and scoring tower there on the left-hand side of your screen. Kling moves down to second, Kevin Ruff down to third, and Sean Rhodes, Guy Bonafide now rounding out the top 5. Trevor Absher, Ed Boyles Jr., Tyler Smith, Preston Superior, and Dave Downsway at the top 10 after that round of pit stops. And 24 laps to go here at Kentucky, the Kentucky Bourbon 150. And again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight on Verdane TV. I know there's a lot of issues with the weather across the country. Dealing with a little bit here at Verdane HQ with the Hurricane Ida remnants. And again, we hope you're staying safe and everybody's happy and healthy and good to go here. But Tim Wortman Jr., 3.5 second lead over those pit stops over Eric Kling and Kevin Ruff, who had the lead here prior. Tyler Smith up 16 spots, holding on to the number 7 spots, and no pressure in front, no pressure behind. There you see the 41 car. Derek Cook, final car, first car 1 lap down there, 14 car rather. Last car on the lead lap, 41's the first car on the lead lap, or 1 lap down. Tim Wortman Jr. still holding on to the lead, and you can see a couple of drivers getting on by the old 00. Seems to be off the pace here. I'm actually wondering if the 00 has not come down pit road yet to get tires, because it's curious to see these drivers getting on by fairly quickly. They see the 51 car is there of Eric King. He's going to try and drive around the outside, but it's tough with all these lap cars holding on through the air, and they're doing what they need to do to stay on the lead lap, the 14 and the 41. There you see the 62 up in that battle as well. And they're doing what they need to do to try and stay on the lead lap. But Tim Wortman Jr. now off the pace. He's going to come down pit road. So the 00 of Tim Wortman Jr. going to have to come down with 20 laps to go, now 19. But that is, in fact, going to give the lead back to the number 8 car, or the 51 car of Eric Kling. And you can see he's trying to get back around these lap cars that were able to get around Tim Wortman Jr. earlier here. So he's struggling with getting on by. These drivers doing everything they can to try and stay in the lead lap and hope for a late caution to maybe get caught back up to the tail end of the field here. The 8 car right in with him. Kevin Ruff trying to hold on another 6 seconds or so back to Guy Bonafide in that 33 car. So a little bit ways back. These 2 drivers up in the front have a little bit of time, a little bit of a cushion to try and get through this lap traffic as quickly and as safely and as cleanly as they can. But the caution flag is in fact going to come out. Looks like Jamison Middlemiss having some troubles in the 16 car. You see him up in the middle of the track, and then drives on down into the 62 car down in the bottom. So some struggles for the 16 car. Pull up the caution flag here, and still wrecking under caution. A couple of drivers collecting each other. Not entirely sure what the deal is there, but we'll pull up the beer bong instant replay, find out just what it was that happened to the 16 car. And it looks like it might have been just a little bit of contact. We'll pull up the speed thing here. You can see the 16 down on the bottom side. It actually comes up in front of the 42 car and gets chopped. Tim Wortman Jr. Oh no, that's the 9 car. Mackin, big contact there, and we actually saw the 19 of Trevor Absher get a piece of this as well. This is after the caution flag flew. Coming up through, just want to take a look and see what happened in the 19 car, and you can see he just clips the 9. Big time damage to the left front of that race car. That's your 4th place driver. That's tough. That's last season's champion, won the race, won the championship last season, and now he's got some damage to the nose here at Kentucky. So that's going to be interesting to see with 17 laps to go, whether or not he's going to come down pit road and get some service to that machine, and it looks like the field is getting collected now by the pace car. That's all set. Going to come down pit road and get some tires. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch happen here as these drivers come down pit lane. Pretty much the entire field of lead lap cars coming down. I believe the 96 of Tyler Smith stays out. The 20 of Charles Stevens, the 1 of Keith Hume stays out as well. So these drivers are going to try and see what they can do with track position and maybe take just a little bit of gamble. Derek Cook, Josh Battles, Alonzo King, Tim Worman Jr., and Sean Rhodes also staying out. Everybody else on the lead lap coming down for service. And there you see the race-off pit road story of the night. 51 car, then the 8. And everybody else coming on down after getting 4 fresh tires and fuel. Handful of drivers selecting to stay out. Tyler Smith, Charles Stevens, Keith Hume, Derek Cook, and Josh Battles, the top 5. All those drivers elected to stay out underneath this caution flag. So going to see if track position can do anything here for them tonight. And this is the spot to try it at with 16 to go. A couple of drivers towards the back wanted to make a little bit of a gamble. And you can see Trevor Absher down on pit road getting some virtual sheet metal. There you see the 3 car, Tommy Kelly, involved in an incident as well down on pit road, still here as well. Led some laps earlier on here tonight. So lights are on the pace car. We got 16 laps to go for the Kentucky Bourbon 150. Going to take one more commercial break, but we'll be right back to cover the rest of the race and the rest of the action here live on Burbon TV. Don't go anywhere.
CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends at Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
It's 15 laps on the board, and the story of the day, the top 5 drivers elected to stay out here under caution, did not come down pit road, and it seems like they're going to hold on to that decision. There you see Tyler Smith, a little bit of damage there on the back end of that race car, a couple of battle scars throughout, but he's going to hold on to the lead. Charles Stevens, Keith Hume, and Derek Cook and Josh Battles, the top 5, did not pit that time by, and the first car that did was the 51 car in the 6th spot of Eric Kling, Gavin Ruff, Guy Bonifide, Preston Purrier, and Drew Moffitt, the top 10. Dave Douthwaite, Ed Boyles Jr., Michael Miller, Alonzo King. The rest of the cars on the top are on the lead lap. Trevor Absher is scored currently in 15th, but still down on pit road, getting some damage done. Big time contact after the or during the caution there underneath the or right after that previous wreck. So an unfortunate end to his night. Still on pit road as we got lined up 2 by 2. The iRacing pace car has shut the strobes off. We're lined up. We're ready to go. A pair of Toyotas up in front, then a Chevy, and then a pair of Fords. Charles Stevens on the outside. Tyler Smith down on the inside. And keep in mind that the top 5 do not have fresher tires. There you see him on the outside. The number 51 car, the first car in line, that does in fact have fresh tires. And that's going to be one of the things we're going to have to peek at. And pace car says, I'm getting out of Dodge. I'm going to go down to the safety of pit road and let these guys have at it. Green flag. We wait. We wait. We wait. And there it goes. Barney in the flag stand gives them the green flag. There's a little bit of a push and a jump already from the 51 car. Putting those tires to work, makes it 3 wide, high, wide, and handsome. Trying to get around these cars. 4 wide going into turn 1, and there's the contact. The 41 cars around, and we are stacking them up. Parking lot here in turn number 1. Caution number 5. There you see the 52 involved, the 38 involved. Tough break for a lot of these drivers. And we'll pull up the Kong Beer Bong instant replay to take a peek, see what happened to cause that. And it might have been a mix of drivers with fresh tires versus drivers with older tires. But the initial contact looks like it's actually out in front of some of these drivers. But in any sense, we'll take a look here from the blimp view here. And we'll take a look here again at this Kong Beer Bong instant replay. There you see the restart. Everybody pretty much 2 by 2 all the way throughout. It looks like the initial contact, the 41, the 38, and 52 involved, and a lot more drivers involved here, kind of stacking up, getting a piece of the action as well. And that's a tough break. There was a lot of fast cars. Preston Creer led a couple of laps earlier on here tonight. Now has damage along with a lot of the cars back in the pack. So Eric Kling has moved up now into second. And this is where the strategy really starts to kind of come in just a little bit, because we know Eric Kling, he's actually going to be in third after everything settles on down, and Tyler Smith going to hold on to the lead. Eric Hume in a second. Charles Stevens slips back to fourth, and Kevin Ruff with fresher tires now in fifth. Alonzo King going to come down pit road, give up his top 10 spot. Preston Greer going to come down and get some damage fixed as well. Going to be approaching 11 to go here, 10 to go. And probably going to get the restart with 8 or 9 laps to go. And it's looking like that 96 car going to stay out on track to try and see what he can make happen here with that fresh, cleaner air. You can see Eric Kling, not too many scratch, dings, or dents on that race car. And he's going to try and see what he can do to get around those 2 drivers in front of him. Watching live coverage here on Verdane TV of the Lugz Cup Series of Kentucky Bourbon 150 here at Kentucky Speedway. Less than 10 laps to go. Going to be approaching here 10 laps to go. A little bit of a connection issue there, it looks like, for the number 1 car. Keith Hume blinked in and out real quick. Going to probably attribute that to the storms across the country here. Hope everybody's out there staying safe. Out there watching here on Verdane TV. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Be sure to give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, even a share. Let all your friends know you're watching some internet racing here on the Verdane TV network. And business is about to pick up as we cross the stripe. Going to be 10 to go. Waiting on the final restart, potentially the final restart here of the race, and we'll see just what happens here. And lots of action, lots of great racing throughout this race. Different lines throughout the field as everybody's, some drivers up on the high side, low side, middle side, lines in between, racing all over this racetrack, and fairly clean race. Only a couple of incidents. We just saw a multi-car pile up here, but other than that, been relatively clean throughout the race. Tyler Smith, Keith Hume, Eric Kling, Charles Stevens, and Guy Bonifay currently the top 5. Gavin Ruff with fresh tires back in 6th. Derek Cook, Michael Miller, Ed Boyles Jr., and Dave Douthwaite the top 10. Drew Moffitt, Josh Battles, Alonzo King, and Tim Workman Jr. rounding out the drivers on the lead lap. 31 cars in the field, 14 left on the lead lap here, and a couple of drivers down on pit road getting some damage worked on here. Seeing if they'll maybe come out, try and get as many points as they potentially can to see if they can get themselves a little bit closer to that championship spot. And these guys are going to be racing all the way into the 2022 season, and they're going to be giving us the entertainment that we crave here on Verdane TV on Wednesday nights. Always doing the doubleheader with Tim's Corner Motorsports, Tim's Corner live from Tim's Corner Motorsports. Easy enough for me to say. 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Just had the Oxford 250 champ up on there. Brent Roy was a guest as well. Well known for being the driver of the number 26 in the New England, Pennsylvania Shift Marketing Design Grand National Series. That's going to be kicking off on October 5th here at Daytona. And really looking forward to that. Schedule is all lined up, ready to rock and roll, working with a couple of other leagues to see if we can get some more entertainment out there for the masses. Working on a big race here for Verdane TV as well. Verdane TV sanctioned event. We haven't done too many of those since starting this. We wanted to make sure we give the drivers of all of our leagues and friends here an opportunity to kind of showcase their driving styles against each other and maybe come back with a little bragging rights. So make sure you pay attention to the social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff to find when that race is going to be and all of the action coming down live. Really looking forward to that. Again, probably mid-November. November seems to be, it's shaping up to be a big show. We just announced the date as well for the TCM 300. That's going to be November 18th. And that's going to be live here on Verdane TV, getting all the drivers up in Maritime Canada, getting the simulators dusted off, potentially putting the race cars away into the garage and hold on to them for next season. But lined up 2x2, the lights are off in the iRacing pace car. He's going to go down pit road for potentially the final time here tonight. 20 car, or the 96 of Tyler Smith holding on to the lead. Keith Hume on the outside. And a driver there in third. The first car on the second car on the inside line has fresh tires, and he's had the lead before, and he wants it back. Green flag in the air. We're racing down into turn number one, still side by side for the lead. The 51 going to peek in the middle. Nope, no business there. Going to keep on trying to get a little bit fresh air on that nose. He's going to slide up into the second spot. Set his sights now on that first place, and looks like he's going to have the lead. Those fresher tires paying off by the time they get to turn three. And looks like caution flag once again. More trouble for the 38 car of Preston Purrier. More damage to the nose there. And looks like we're still having some cars with some troubles here in the second half of the top 10. But we'll take a look at the Kong Beer Bong instant replay one more time and take a look at what happened here a little bit after the restart. Made it about half a lap before calamity has ensued. And just going to try and take a peek and see just where the incident happened. So we might actually have to jump up in the chopper cam and take a peek, but we'll show it to you live here. Going to focus in on the 38 car. Restarted all the way back here in the back of the pack and ended up getting involved in that. There you see the green flag, a restart in the air. Everybody fans out trying to find their favorite line. 3 wide, 4 wide. The 52 all the way down to the bottom, off the pace just a bit. He gets on by, no fuss, no mutts. And the 38 car, once again, stay focused. They come out of turn number 2. Still side by side, a little 3 wide action up in front of them. Trying to take a peek here, and there's the smoke. The 48 car, Michael Miller gets by. How about the 38 car driving on by? Didn't hit anything. That's good driving, but there we see a driver upside down and on his lid, and that's never good. I want to say that is the Charles Stevens car, the number 20. So we'll back that up one more time, and again, we're going to stay in the chopper, take a peek at what happened, sliding on his roof here. And here you see this is a little 3 wide action. The 48 comes down below, and the 47 tries to get down there. Can't quite hold on to the bottom side, drifts up into the 48 and then into the 20. And there you see some calamity as drivers trying to avoid the car there. The 62 involved, the 6 involved. 52 skates on by. There you see Preston Purrier, some heads-up driving from him. Let's take a look at the onboard from Preston Purrier, because that was an impressive maneuver there. And obviously we have to take a look from inside the race car. And this is coming into the incident. We'll look from the gyro cam, and there you can see 2, 3 wide up in front of them. There's the contacts, and this is where there you see a car on the wall, smoke, car coming back in front of you. Whoa! Skates around, goes down to the left to the upside down car. Does a fantastic job of missing the inside wall. There's a good shot of the 20, and a little bit scuffed up on the tires, but great driving from Preston Purrier. So there you see a handful of drivers down on pit road getting some service done, and this is what Tyler Smith wanted to see. Dwindling down these caution flag laps. He has not come down pit road just yet. He's on old tires, and he's trying to hold off Eric Kling there in the 51 car, down to a handful of drivers that have stayed out on track. And Tyler Smith wants to see this. He wants to see if he can hold on to the lead here. Going to get the restart with about 3 laps to go, it looks like, and that's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be great to see just how much these drivers are going to be able to battle it out, and we'll see if those new tires work for the 51, if the 96 of Smith can hold on to the race. And you can see the lights still on the iRacing pace car, so it's going to give these drivers an opportunity to kind of drive on through the field, collect their thoughts, find out what the final game plan is for these final couple of laps here at Kentucky, and we'll see how it all plays out. And again, you're watching it live here on Verdane TV. I want to thank everybody out here for tuning in, and give us a like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. Let your friends know you're watching a little bit of iRacing action here on Verdane TV. And there you see it, the lights are off. The iRacing pace car lined up 2x2 all the way through. A lot of damaged race cars here throughout the evening. All in all, relatively clean race throughout, but a couple of multi-car incidents have involved a few of the drivers here. And you can see this is definitely going to be something to behold. Tyler Smith holding on the lead, but doesn't have the fresh tires like Eric Kling has, who just came down about, call it 10 laps ago or so. He's going to restart on the outside line, see if he can make something happen, try and get around that 96 car. And the 96 going to do everything he potentially can here to try and hold on to that lead for 3 more laps, getting 3 to go as we cross the stripe. And again, that pace car going to be driving down pit road for, again, potentially the final time here of the evening. 100 laps on the board and 4 to go. Going to cross the stripe, take the green flag with 3 to go. And we are back to racing action momentarily. Barney up in the flag stand, making them wait for it, Green flag in the air, side by side as they cross the stripe. The advantage doesn't really go. Well, there you see the 51 gets a little bit, but the 96 still holding on tough down the bottom side of the racetrack. Side by side as they go into turns number 1 and 2. And now that's number 1 car of you trying to hold on, trying to move on up into the second position. Exactly what Smith wants to see in the 96. He's going to try and hold off these 2 drivers of 51 fresh tires, but he's going to make it happen. Look at that car stick in that middle groove in the 51, putting those tires to work. Tire shortage? What tire shortage? Looks like the 51 going to move on up into the lead, 3 wide for third. Guy Bonafide up on the high side of the 33 car. Great recovery after an earlier incident with popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go here for the Kentucky Bourbon 150. Ruff going to move that 8 car into the 3rd spot. The 33, an evasive maneuver, trying to get down to the bottom side into the clean air to see if he can get into that 3rd spot, into the 4th spot. But now a battle again for 2nd as Kevin Ruff. Side-by-side contact between he and the 96 car. The 96 holds on to the outside, but right now 1 lap to go. White flag, white rag. The 51 of Eric Kling going to hold on to the lead. He's got about a second. All he has to do is keep the hammer down and go all the way through turns 3 and 4 one final time. The battle here looks like it's going to be for 2nd. Kevin Ruff going to hold on to the 2nd spot. Tyler Smith gambling with older tires. He's going to hold on to, and you can see the battle now back in behind for 3rd. But back up front, Eric Kling going to cross the stripe. He is going to win here at Kentucky. The Kentucky Bourbon 150 goes to the 51 car. 2nd place, Kevin Ruff, and the gamble definitely pays off here for 3rd place, Tyler Smith in the 96 car. And they're wrecking across the stripe. A couple of drivers trying to make the best of it, but Tim Worman Jr. comes home 4th. Guy Bonafide coming home in 5th. Again, great recovery for that number 33 car. But the story of the night, the 51 great race here for Eric Kling. Holds on to the lead, catches it back after the final restart, and we're going to get a chance to talk to these drivers here momentarily in the top three. And there you can see the running order on your screen as we're going to see a little bit of a burnout, U.S. Army style, from the 51 driver. And one of the fun things we've been doing here on Verdane TV is trying to talk to these winners as they're doing their victory burnout. He's going to pull the car over. Nope, he's going to fire it back up. Nope, he's going to line it up on the first straightaway. But a great win, a strong race car, the number 51, Eric Kling, the winner here tonight. Gets it back on that final restart. Man, what a race.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that happened, especially within the last 10 laps. A lot of thoughts and everything. Got to thank MVP, U.S. Army, and team for helping me out and doing all that they do for this team.
And a great solid race. The car was strong all night long. Don't believe he dipped down other than pit stops outside of the top five, even the top three potentially. And knowing that the 96 was on old tires, starting down on the bottom side, how high was the confidence there in that final restart?
It was pretty good. I mean, throughout the race, I noticed that I was gaining a lot of momentum on pretty much everyone through 3 and 4. I feel like that was where my strong suit was, specifically within that within the last 10 laps and behind the 96. I didn't feel like I had anything to worry about except for the potential for an accident or something that was out of my control. But I knew that there was definitely a chance there.
Couple of incidents, a couple of multi-car incidents, but all in all, a relatively clean race, very entertaining here at Kentucky. And I want to give you an opportunity. First, two-part question. Give us a little bit more insight on that MVP logo there on the hood, and also who else makes it happen for the 51 team.
Yeah, that would be the team, U.S. Army. MVP, that's going to be for. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a issue here. 1 second.
The victory lane, that'll do that. Lots of thoughts rushing in, all at the same time, coming home with a victory here, especially on Verdane TV. Always cool to see. Hey, it's the first month of September. Yep, the first day of September. You win the first race of September's busy schedule on Verdane TV. So take a moment or two, gather the thoughts, and we'll go from there. Still with us? Eric grabbing the notes from the crew chief. We'll slide on down pit road just a little bit. We'll catch up. Tyler Smith, the third place finisher here tonight. Man, that gamble almost paid off. A couple of late cautions kind of stringing those laps together, Tyler. Almost paid off for the win, but came home with a podium finish, top three, man. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, I can't beat the finish. I was with about 30 to go. I pitted and I was just running around, saving my tires, hoping for that caution because I was getting my fuel window was very close. So that caution came at the right time, and I was just trying to hang on to the end.
Definitely did a great job, especially with battling the 51 and the 8. We saw those guys ride up front all night long, and with a long extended run on those tires. With a couple of pit stops or the couple of caution flags rather towards the end of the race, did that kind of boost your confidence a little bit, or was it just kind of hang on and hope for the best?
Yeah, it boosted a little bit because I was just riding around. I wasn't using my tires. I knew those guys back there had some fresh tires, but I was just going on, hoping that I could get the first place finish.
But the gamble paid off for a podium finish, coming home in a third. So a great run here at Kentucky. Want to give you an opportunity. Thank anybody that's maybe on that number 96 race car, friends, family, anybody that might be watching at home. The floor's all yours.
Oh yeah, I gotta thank all the guys at Joe Gibbs. They give us set up and we practice. And this is obviously my first season, and they take me under their wing, and it's been fun. And I just want to say, we're thinking about Wayne. Missed him tonight. He went through that storm, so we're hoping he's doing all right. Get back through there. We've talked to him, and so. But other than that, just gotta thank the team, putting in all the work and coming out here and making us competitive.
Solid run, and we actually talked to Wayne briefly in the chat throughout the race. Power's still out, but everybody's still safe and sound, so that's good news there. And very quickly going to slide up pit road because power's actually starting to flicker here as Ida moves on into South Central Connecticut. Kevin Ruff, the second place finisher, back and forth all night long with the 51 of Eric Kling. Man, it's been a great race here, 100 laps in the books, and you come home second. Talk to us.
The Caterpillar Goodyear 8 Chevy Camaro was a really fast car tonight. I definitely think I had the fastest car in the long run. It showed. But at the very beginning, I have to give a shout out to Preston Purrier. We're sitting there talking when the first caution came out, and we're thinking about fuel strategy if it goes green the rest of the way. And if it wasn't for him making a call, I would not be in the position I was in track position wise. And if this would have went green, I very well could have won the race pretty easily. But we had a very fast car tonight. It was fun racing with Eric. It was fun racing with everybody else on the track. It's just a really fun race. I wish a couple of the restarts would have went a little different for me, and I may have been in victory lane.
100%, but definitely a good solid run here, coming home second. Fresh tires paying off, getting on around Tyler there for the second spot. So a good run here tonight. Goodyear, Caterpillar. Who else is on that 8 car who makes it happen for the Virtual 8 team?
I think it's just Goodyear and Caterpillar. I think that's it.
Well, that's what it's all about. As long as we get these top 3 finishes, maybe come home with a wing next week. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
But a great run here. Top 3 podium drivers. Eric Kling coming home with a win. Kevin Ruff second. Tyler Smith in third. And we'll try and catch up with Eric Kling post-race here and get him hooked up on Facebook. And I know definitely military runs deep with that team, so we'll get some more information from Eric, and we'll get that posted up on the Verdane TV Facebook page here. But as the storms roll on through, again, we want to make sure that everybody's safe and sound and good to go. Hope everybody enjoyed the show here tonight. Taking a quick peek here at the schedule. Tomorrow night, Multi-League Cup Series brings us some action. And then we're off for a couple of days, and Monday night returns. Actually, you know what? We're off this Monday for Labor Day, so no Trans Service Cup Series, but they'll be back to kick off their playoffs, and then right back here on Wednesday for the doubleheaders. Tim's Corner Motorsports episode number 31 of Tim's Corner Live, and then right back here for the Lugz Cup Series action at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Want to thank you again for tuning in on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Give us a shout on Facebook. Let us know where you watched from, if you enjoyed the show, what we could do differently, and what you might want to see throughout the next couple of months here as we build the schedule for the fall and winter series. But for Verdane TV, for the Lugz Cup Series, I am Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. We're going to wrap things up. We'll catch you on the flip side. When we do, we're going to be doing it live.